All right, we'll get Rotary started. Welcome, everybody. You all stand. Have the prayer by Zach today, and then we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance and then the four-way test too.
Bow your heads with me, please. Lord God, in the first chapter, the first few words of Romans, Paul proclaims that he was set apart by you to bring the gospel to the world. And Lord, you set us all apart for something. You have a purpose for all of us. For some of us, it's a time like this, a time where our community or our country or our world needs us to serve, to uplift, and to love. Lord, I pray that we as Rotarians, we keep that call, that we look for our purpose and that we serve and love. In your name. Amen.
The flag is not present, and it's on its way up, but we will go ahead and start. If you want. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For the things we think and do. Say. The truth is fair to all concerned. Will build goodwill and better friendships. Will be beneficial to all concerned. With that, before we get started, I have a little something for our past president, Brian Evans, under the hard work and leadership that you had over the last year. Is the camera still on?
Yeah, it's going.
We're presenting Brian with this plaque for his leadership over the last year. I won't take it out of plastic, but it says, presented to Brian Evans, President, 2019 to 2020, Rotary Club of Hudson, Wisconsin. So thank you, everybody, thank you, Brian, and Mary, too, for your hard work. And we'll mail this out to you. Yes. Oh. Ross. James. Welcome, James. We have a speaker today. I believe it's Julie James. With us.
No.
They're with Happy Bucks. Anybody happy today? Okay.
I don't know if I said it last week or not about going to my hometown to Dale Hay with my parents. It didn't happen. I went anyway. Went fishing, caught some walleyes, ate them. It was good. Now this weekend, I'm going to go to that. I'm happy about that.
Anybody else? Anybody at home? Zoomers? Okay, we don't have a dollar raffle today. So announcements. Tom, did you have something you wanted to say?
Can anybody hear me okay? By the way, I'm joining from my cell phone. For whatever reason, my desk phone I couldn't get a connection. Can anybody hear me okay?
Yep.
I just thought I'd give you a really quick update, and this is going to be quick because there's really not much to update with COVID. It's been a while since I've been with you, but right now, as you've all probably heard, we've had some pretty significant spikes in terms of COVID across St. Croix County. And at the hospital, we still have 0 COVID patients here. We're still doing all of our visitor semi-restrictions. We got masking going on, and of course testing and social distancing. We've got cohort and search plans. We're doing our entrance screenings, but right now we have 0 COVID. We have restored all of our service lines. A couple of areas like our community classes, fitness center, volunteer program, those are still on hold. I think some good news is with our furloughed staff, we've brought back about 80% of those. So we're continuing very methodically, measured way, bringing staff back. But we're humming along here at the hospital. Same. Everything's really. We're fully prepared, and we're for any increases in COVID because, as you've heard, if you're following the headlines, it has gone away, and as a matter of fact, it's so. Just want to know that we're all ready and prepared, but we're not on any stretch.
Tom, how's the supply of PPE?
No issues there. We've got everything dialed in. Fortunately, we're part of a larger system, so our supply chain and our purchasing practices and such enable us to be okay on that front. But we're doing fine there.
I got a question, Tom. You said there are no patients at the hospital with COVID now. Were there any in the last 4 months, 5 months?
No, we've had 0 COVID patients here. One of the reasons for that is what we call our cohort planning. So in our network of hospitals between New Richmond and for Hudson and Amory and Lakeview, Stillwater, region really the epicenter for COVID patients. For any overflow that's required, they would go to Westfields first. What we're trying to do is free up capacity for surgery and for inpatient swing bed and those type of things. That if Regions has to take on more COVID patients, for example, we can take some of the other services off their hands, free up more beds for them. So we're all basically specialized areas. We've had 0 COVID patients here.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, I should also mention we've had some staff out who have either had COVID or been exposed. And so we follow very stringent guidelines in terms of quarantines and those type of things. But it hasn't been an impact for our staffing. It's an issue for our patients.
Any other questions for Tom? Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Isaac to introduce our speaker.
Wait, I don't know. Before Isaac introduces the speaker, one quick golf announcement. The Rotary tournament is Monday. Shotgun start at 12:30, registration at 11:30. I have no idea if you can still register, but what we can do is donate a bottle of wine or a 6-pack of beer for the raffle. If you'd like to, you can buy that wine downstairs from my office and bring it up to me. I will deliver it, or you can obviously just have otherwise, anyone else golfing? Anyone golfing? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I mean, I'm swinging a club.
I golfed on Tuesday. I shouldn't have swung anything. I got that. Monday will be better.
It is my honor, I'm going to make sure I get on camera here. It is my honor to introduce our guest speaker today. Her name is Julie James. She is working for the amazing nonprofit Best Christmas Ever as the Director of Captain Success. Established in Cloquet, Minnesota in 2011, Best Christmas Ever is a nonprofit dedicated to making a long-lasting impact on families that have fallen on hard times due to no fault of their own, and by having volunteer captains and their teams bless nominated families with a surprise Best Christmas Ever. In her role as Director of Captain Success, she has the privilege of walking alongside rockstar captains to support and lead them along the way to success, as well as building community together. So here to share more about Best Christmas Ever is Julie James.
Thank you, Isaac, and thank you for this opportunity to share Best Christmas Ever with you. I am extremely passionate about it, and I will give you my background story to share how I became involved, but I want to apologize for not being there in person today. I am a very relational person. I would love to be face-to-face with you. However, as I told Isaac yesterday, I began to present with some COVID symptoms midday and had to move to video presentation. So thank you for allowing me this opportunity to present to your fantastic Rotary. And on a side note, my sister and her husband just moved to Hudson. So yay, win for Hudson. And I was just there a couple weeks ago helping to move them in. So what a beautiful city you have, and I will be there quite often now. As Isaac said, Best Christmas Ever is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. It was founded in Cloquet, Minnesota. It is based in Minnesota. I am centrally located in the Twin Cities myself. And our mission is to bless families that have gone through hardships at no fault of their own. No fault of their own looks like illness, death, house fire, job loss, name it, things that have happened to families that are like you and me, trudging through life, doing the right thing, and something just smacks them right in the face to derail them off course. Our goal is to have our volunteer captains work with the nominators of the family. So these families are nominated by friends, coworkers, neighbors that know these families really well and know that they've really pushed hard through some trying times, but could use a little boost. And these families have no idea any of this is going on. This is a surprise to them when we show up at the door the week before Christmas. So our volunteer captains, which is what I first signed up to be to get involved in the organization, we get to pick a family from a list. Last year we had over 1,500 families nominated throughout the US and Canada. We have captains last year in about 11 states, and this year we're growing. I think we have about 13 states right now. And also Canada, like I said. And those volunteer captains get to read through the nominations. So for instance, in the Twin Cities area, there were over 500 nominations that I could choose from to pick a family that really, really hit my heart and I felt really nudged to bless. And so as soon as I picked that family as a captain, I then called the nominator and got on the phone and said, congratulations, Best Christmas Ever has chosen the family you nominated to receive a Best Christmas Ever. And then you get to work with that nominator to build a gift list and kind of set up the surprise drop, because these families, again, don't know we're coming. So the nominator is the one you have set up and say, hey, I'm gonna stop by with some pizzas on Sunday night, make sure everybody's home, or however they need to set that up. They set the scene for us to come in and bless families. The mission is to wrap these families up in bold generosity and pure love to change the course and direction of whatever just derailed them in life, and to change what would have been their worst Christmas ever to their best Christmas ever. They have absolutely no idea this is all going on behind the scenes. There's a lot of amazing generosity that gets brought to the table, and these families are just wowed by not only the gifts and the funds that we raise, but the experience. We wrap them up in that experience, which is just a beautiful moment. A little bit of background, like Isaac said, it was founded in Cloquet, Minnesota. Our co-founder and executive director, Don, fell ill during the holiday season. And he had a 4-year-old son, and he had returned from the hospital and looked at the Christmas tree and thought, how do I tell my son? He had that sinking feeling. How do I tell my son there just isn't going to be a Christmas? I can't do it. And later on, he had a knock at the door, and some relatives were standing at the door with bags full of gifts for his son. And he went from that worst pit in his stomach of, I can't provide for my son this Christmas, to the best Christmas ever. And so he rallied some friends and another co-founder named Jason to bless a family and pay it forward that next year. And they blessed one family in 2011. And since then, Best Christmas Ever has continued to grow. Like I said, there were over 1,500 families nominated last year in US and Canada, and we had 126 families blessed. So we have a huge need, and we are looking to build our captain community. This year, we have a goal of blessing 150 families. So I love this opportunity to reach out to you, because I know we've got great people out in our community waiting to make a difference in a tangible way to a family in your backyard. And especially this year with all the extra stuff that's going on beyond the typical hardships that families are facing. But we've got so many people affected by the recent changes in the world. And so we really want to make sure that we hit our goal of 150 families to bring that light and that hope and be a vessel for pure love to wrap them up and say, you know what, complete strangers, we've got you. We have got you. I would love to show, Isaac, is it possible to show the founding story video, which will kind of illustrate in a video? It's like 2 minutes and 53 seconds, so it's short, but it will give you the idea of what a Best Christmas Ever looks like, and you can see some of the recipients on there and how it's received.
Pulling it up now, Julie.
Awesome, thank you.
Hold on, I apologize. I forgot for the Zoom viewers that I need to share my screen.
There you go.
All right, let's try this again. Everybody at home, can you see my screen? Just a nod of the head. It's black right now? Okay.
Can you turn it up just a titch, Isaac?
I know her.
Thank you, Isaac, for doing that. I don't know, I wasn't able to hear the sound, so if you were on a video chat, I encourage you to go onto the website, which is bcemovement.org. And after this meeting or in your own time, take a look at that video. The words are amazing that go with what you just saw, but I think you could probably even get the emotion out of just those visual images. Best Christmas Ever does not just deliver gifts the week before Christmas. They also follow up with continued support. Our mission is to not just drop and leave. Our mission is to continue to support these families to get their course back on track in life. So there are 2 programs we offer the families to enroll in. One is Financial Peace University through Dave Ramsey, also called FPU. And upon completion, going forward, it's going to be offered as an online course. It has been in person in the past, but it's a 9-week online course that upon completion, the families will receive a $1,000 grant from Best Christmas Ever to pay down a debt, a bill, whatever they would like. Furthermore, we offer an opportunity to take a total health wellness course online, which is an 8-week course. Upon completion to that, they will receive $1,000 worth of gift cards to a local approved grocery store. So to give you a little background, when the drop happens, we ask our volunteer captains to raise $5,000 and 10 plus gifts for the family members. So not only are they going to get that, but they also get the additional support of the Financial Peace University option and the Total Health and Wellness option for continuing to steer them back on course towards a brighter future. I'd love to share a little bit about how I got involved. Gosh, it was like October 29th last year. And I was on Facebook and saw a Facebook post. And of course it was that founding story video, which you all just watched. And all of a sudden, tears are just streaming down my face. And I'm not a crier usually. And I went, what is going on? What's happening here? And I quickly realized that I was being heavily, heavily nudged to become involved in Best Christmas Ever. But my mind was saying, not this year, can't do it. Our oldest son is graduating from college down in Nashville on December 13th. I thought, how could I possibly raise $5,000, 10 plus gifts, and plan a graduation party and be gone for a good portion of the time that's really going to be the culmination week of getting all this together as a volunteer captain. So I pushed it off and said, no, I'm actually a teacher by trade. And so, well, in my former life, I'm not teaching now, but in my former life. And so I thought, you know what? I really like knowledge. I like to research. I'm very type A. So I thought maybe next year. But there was a whole different plan for me. And I continually felt nudged because I couldn't sleep. It was on my heart, very heavy. And I called my wise mother-in-law and I said, look, I think I'm crazy for doing this. I don't know if I can step in and do this, but I feel really, really nudged. And I went online and I saw that their foundational pillars are faith, family, finance, and health. And their core values are faith and hope and community. And that's what I'm all about. I've worked really hard in my life to be joy-filled and bring the light to others. And I just feel really passionate about this. And her first response was, if that is placed on your heart, you need to do that and it will all be provided for you. Don't worry. And so I jumped all in and I never looked back. And as a captain, we encourage you to formulate a team of a handful of just go-getters in your community to help you raise the funds and the gifts and to spread the word of BCE. And folks, it took, I think, 2 to 3 days, and our fund that we have was over $5,000. And so I upped the game and I said, let's go. Let's do this. Let's put it to 10,000. And we ended in about 3.5 weeks with $12,200. It was incredible. The constant resounding comment I got from everybody giving, whether they were giving of their donations or they were giving a gift, they were giving money, or they came to the wrapping party to help wrap and they gave the gift of time. They constantly said, thank you for asking. It feels so good to give. And I quickly learned as a captain that you become a vessel for inviting people to be generous. You bring them to that generosity table. People are wanting to tangibly give. And when they hear that you are going to be blessing a family in your community, it's game on. It's how can we help you? We want to do this and we want to be a part of this amazing mission. So as a captain, I then moved from, well, this was the most amazing experience of my life. I thought I was going to be blessing a family, which is the goal. But the journey along the way completely changed me. It was life-changing. It opened my eyes to generosity like no other. And it allowed everybody along that journey. There were probably 100 plus people that touched our particular journey to bless one family. And everybody along the way became changed through it. So I quickly shifted into, wow, the gift really is in the giving. It is amazing. And it was an added bonus along the way. Now, fast forward about 8 months later, I was reading a newsletter that Best Christmas Ever sent out, and they said, we're hiring. And it was just the beginning of COVID season. And I thought, well, good for them. They're pushing through and they're going to make some good changes to develop their organization stronger. At that time, they had 2 full-time staff members. That's it. And they were looking to hire this role and a part-time bookkeeper. Again, I let that go. I saw a full-time job. I wasn't really seeking a job. I wasn't in the market for a job, but again, I felt nudged. God really pushed me and said, a week later, kind of hit me over the head and said, go investigate that and go apply. And I did. I followed that lead, and after some lengthy interviews in about a month and a half, I got the job. So my role as Director of Captain Success is to get to recruit the captain family and build that strong family. We really want to get our roots set deep in our area here, Twin Cities and the surrounding suburbs and Hudson, New Richmond, those areas, really get it deep so that eventually in not maybe a year, 2 years, whatever, within maybe a 5-year plan, be able to then develop regional offices to grow Best Christmas Ever, open other offices so that they can emulate our blueprint and say, we're going to do this and we're going to bring this big, because we still, although we have captains in different states, we really want to develop it strong right within this metro area and surrounding areas so that we can bless more and more families each year and allow another regional office to take that and go, okay, this is what works. You know, meeting with amazing Rotaries like you who have this same selfless giving mentality. This is what it's all about, to get the Best Christmas Ever message out. So how do you get involved? There are several ways. I'm going to highlight 4 today. 1, become a captain. That is what I was talking about that I did. A captain commits to raising $5,000 and 10 plus gifts per family member. So we encourage first-time captains, you know, tread lightly. You might not want to pick a family of 10 right away. You might want to pick a family with a couple children. The family that I picked, I screamed out loud, I want that family when the nomination day came, and this family, mom and dad were 34 years old, 5-year-old boy, 3-year-old daughter, and dad was going to work on Friday the 13th of June last year. He was sitting on 494 in Woodbury in traffic, sitting still, not moving, and a semi-truck came and plowed into the back of him and killed him on impact, leaving his wife and his 2 kids behind. It was devastating. So here they were going to approach Christmas, 2 little kids that are doing the best they can, and the mom doing the best they can, that she can. But we were able to wrap that family up in love, and I will never forget the hug at the end of our experience. That mom did not want to let me go. She held on to me and we sobbed. I'll get teary-eyed now. We sobbed, and she was so moved. And we've become really good friends. She calls me her life coach now. I'm not sure what I did to deserve that, but that's a good illustration of that's who we are to these families. We are coming in and picking them up at their weakest moment, and we're saying, we've got you. We've got you. We support you, and here's what we're bringing God's love to you, and we're just going to wrap you up in unconditional love. So captains also get to work with the community. So it's suggested that if you are not a business, that you find a business partner. If you are a business, your business can be the captain, and you don't have to find another business partner. Some businesses self-fund everything, and they say, you know what, this is us. We're gonna take $5,000, we're gonna put it towards our family, and we're gonna find the gifts amongst either our employees in the business, or we're gonna reach our client base. However it looks, there's no real exact way to be a captain. Some individual families self-fund. However you want to do it, the bottom line is $5,000, 10 plus gifts, and then you get to work with that you pick the family, you work with the nominator, and you show up at that doorstep with your team, whoever you have involved, and you surprise that family. And you are the hands and feet of BCE. You are the backbone as a captain. Captain applications are open now through November 7th. They are online at bcemovement.org. I highly suggest, I know I was late to the game and it was fine. I was very, very blessed during our journey, but I very much suggest if you feel nudged to be a captain right now, I would love nothing more than to have a conversation with you, or if you just feel like you want to jump all in like I did, go online, down, kind of scrolling on the home page, there's a button that says apply to be a captain. We would love nothing more than to have you join us to help reach that 150 goal. I know we can do it because of people like you. So the second way to get involved is to become a BCE general donor or gala sponsor. So right now, of course, we had to cancel the gala. So we are just doing a sponsorship donation this year, and our gala sponsors have come back and more than kindly have been just as generous with our sponsorship. So those financial donations go towards the BC growth of our organization, like I was just saying. They do the continued support of the health program that we offer to the families, as well as the Financial Peace University. On our website, again, bcemovement.org, there's a donate button up in the top right corner. There's also a sponsor donor button kind of midway down the page on the right side. The third way you can get involved is to nominate a family. We all probably can think of a family or two that has gone through hardships at no fault of their own. So the criteria for nominating a family is: one, they have to have children 18 years or younger living in the home with them. Two, they need to have fallen on hardships at no fault of their own. Three, they cannot self-nominate. So the families, again, have no idea this is going on. It's not like you go to them and say, hey, I'm going to nominate you for Best Christmas Ever. No, this is all behind the scenes, and you strictly just go online, nominate a family. Applications or the forms are available September 1st to November 15th online. So I encourage you to nominate a family in your area. If you know a family in another area, another state, nominate them. We may just have a captain in that location who wants to pick that family. Furthermore, if you sign up to be a captain, you may not bless a family you directly nominate. So we encourage that if you have a family that you think of or something, and that there's another family or another person that's involved in their lives, they can nominate it and you can bless them, but you cannot bless a family you particularly nominate. Finally, this year in my role, I'm bringing on some captain collaboration events during the captain season. So for probably 4 weeks in between the November-December season, I'm offering, hopefully we can do this in person. We'll see what it looks like at that point and we'll adjust accordingly. But opportunities to have captains come together in kind of the Twin Cities metro area, and I'm going to try to do kind of the south and the north and different locations. But having collaboration events where the captains can come and I know from my teaching background, you learn a lot from others and share ideas together. And so my vision for those nights is to have an opportunity for captains to collaborate together. I'll probably get up and talk a little bit, but we get to share all the great things that are happening. For instance, I called the lawn and snow care removal company that had currently been servicing the family that we blessed last year, and I asked if we could work out a deal for like a discounted price, and he immediately said, I want to gift it to you. It's over about $2,000, and furthermore, I've been waiting for an organization just like Best Christmas Ever to partner with, and I want to bless 20 other families in that area. Can you help me find them? You guys, people are waiting for this opportunity to help bless others. So it's just such a cool thing, but what a gift that would have been if I would have been able to go to a collaboration event and said, hey, this is what I just got, you guys. I'm so fired up about this. It's like Christmas every day for a captain. And if we can work together in those community events, that's what I'm really shooting for. So what I'm looking for is to partner with a business or a couple businesses, or maybe an individual wants to be generous and donate themselves. But I'd like to provide some snacks and some drinks at those events, and maybe a craft. Like one craft I thought was to create a picture frame, so that we always ask the captains to take a picture at the end of the drop. So you'll see 20 people in the family together. And again, it might look different this year with COVID, but just so you get the idea, that we would have some funding for those nights to be able to buy those needed things for the events. And then of course, if you did become a sponsor for one of those, then I would for sure make sure your logo is shared and you would be highlighted as our sponsor for that evening. So another kind of fun way to get involved that's new. So in closing, what I would love to share is my kind of closing stock paragraph when I personally as a captain am reaching out for donations. And I feel like it really wraps up the mission of BCE and really sets the tone of where we're coming from and what we're looking for. So here it goes. This isn't about us. This effort is about uplifting and giving a family hope when there may be none left. It is about changing lives and making people around us better. It is about giving a family love and compassion and resetting their course so they can go on to accomplish great things. It is changing the world family by family. The families that are blessed are more than deserving, and we are excited to turn what could have been their worst Christmas ever into their best Christmas ever. BCE is truly an organization doing the right thing in this difficult world we live in. Let's move some mountains together for the deserving families that are nominated. I look forward to seeing all of you can email me at julie@bcemovement.org for any questions. I look forward to seeing some captain applications flood in, or maybe some sponsorship opportunities flood in, as well as continued conversations to bless more and more families right in your backyard. Again, the website is bcemovement.org. And I am just thrilled that I had this opportunity to talk to you. I know we can do this together, and thank you for your time.
Are there any questions for Julie? Yes,
You have an advisory board?
did you hear that?
So we have a board. Yes, we have a board of directors, and yes. So just to give you even more background, from 2010 to 2018, it was strictly run by volunteers and that board. In 2018, Don, the co-founder, he stepped up to the executive director role, and he was the first employee. So it was all board run before the executive director became a paid position. Then in 2019, they added Stephanie is her name. She is the director of operations. And now in 2020, they added me and a part-time bookkeeper. And if you go online, you can see all the board is listed there too. And it kind of gives you a better understanding of how the depth of the organization.
Any other questions out there in Zoom land? Well, thank you very much, Julie. We appreciate you taking the time.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Great to see everyone.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Any other business before Rotary? If none, we will adjourn.
Bring it.